We're ready. And so,
What?
I'm ready.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah, but you're...
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jillian. I'm here to present my senior project, which I have entitled A New Chapter in My Swimming Career. I have been a competitive swimmer for 13 years, a lifeguard for 2 years, and a water safety instructor, a WSI, for 1 year. Now, when the opportunity to take this course over the summer came about, I had just gotten my WSI certification, and I realized it was something I could really utilize in my project to help a lot of kids learn how to swim. This summer I worked at Kimball Pool. Kimball Pool, if you've never been there, is a rectangle in the heart of Concord that has a 2-foot shallow end and a 4-foot deep end, and attracts mostly the neighborhood kids that live around the pool. Well, I got to know a lot of them really well, mostly ranging from the ages of 8 to 14. These are some of the kids I got to know pretty well: Jaden, Marissa, Skylar, and Mercedes. My first story today is about Mercedes, who's pictured on the bottom right. Mercedes is 8 years old, and she's very outgoing. We didn't notice when Mercedes was at the pool. We noticed when she wasn't at the pool, because she was there so often. She never believed me when I told her that she jumped as high as the tree, or that she held her breath for 2 million years. However, I didn't believe her when she said she could float. I didn't believe her because every time she'd go to float, she'd throw her arms out to the side, slap her body back into the water, stand right back up, and say, "Jillian, did I do it?" To which I always said, "Not quite, Mercedes, keep trying." But in my own mind, I thought she'd never be able to do it. I thought this child was never going to be able to float, even though that was what I did every day. I taught kids how to float on the water. Although, by the end of the summer, Mercedes was floating like a champion. Something clicked in the last week, and she could do it. All of the lifeguards, including myself, were extremely proud of her, but at the same time, I was really mad at myself. I was so mad at myself for limiting her achievements and thinking that she couldn't achieve things, when in reality, I should have been boosting her up in my own mind and believing that she could accomplish anything she needed to. This is something I learned throughout the summer and can be demonstrated by the quote, "Never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up." I learned this because it isn't important for you to limit people in your own mind unless you are encouraging them to achieve. The next time I learned this was with my swim team. Now, Kimball Pool wasn't originally supposed to have a swim team because not many kids signed up in past years. But my boss told me if I got enough people to join that I could have a team, which is exactly what I did. I made signs, I asked plenty of kids to join. I ended up having a team of 6 kids. We practiced every week, Tuesday and Thursday, for a half hour. And I had 4 kids who showed up most of the time and were really devoted to the program: Lillian, Evan, Isaiah, and Olivia. Now, I had never been a coach before. I had always been the student, the athlete, the swimmer, the field hockey player, and I had never been the coach. I had never been one to give advice or to correct kids on how they were doing, at the same time boosting them up to their full abilities. And I wasn't sure I could do it. I didn't think I was going to be a good role model for them. And going into the citywide swim meet, I wasn't expecting much. I had very low expectations because I thought all these other kids had great coaches that could teach them so much, and I was just an amateur. However, at the beginning of the meet, my kids started winning. We were the smallest team there, 4 kids, but they were winning events. After Isaiah won the first race, I was ecstatic. I was so excited that Lillian had to tell me to calm down, to which I said, "Let me have my moment," because I was so proud of them. We ended up placing 3rd, which isn't a huge accomplishment out of 5 teams, but it meant so much to me because we placed. And it showed me that I needed to believe in my own abilities as well as theirs. It really sunk in when the kid's mom sent me this picture, and she told me that she wanted to know where I was assigned next year because she wanted the kids to come swim for me, that I had taught them so much and that they really learned from me and that I was their biggest role model. I guess they talked about me all the time, and they learned so much over the course of the summer, and they wish they had more time with me. The last part of my summer may be demonstrated by the quote, "Sometimes even the greatest joys bring challenge, and children with special needs inspire a very, very special love." For a few weeks at the end of the summer, I worked with a little girl named Allie at the YMCA. Allie was nonverbal and had a lot of issues with her motor skills. She was not a very good swimmer, but I was there to help her along the way, and she was able to accomplish a lot. Now in today's society, we limit people with disabilities. We think they can't do this, they can't do that because of their disability, when in reality, we all have our sort of own disability. We have challenges we have to face and overcome, and some things come easier to others than it does to us, but we push through them nonetheless. And it's the same way for kids with disabilities. So that's my final message to you, is before you limit someone's capabilities, watch them, help them, and allow them to prove you wrong. Because so many times this summer, I limited kids in my head. I thought, they can't do this, they can't do that, and every single time they proved me wrong. And now looking back, I'm thinking if I had believed in them, if I had pushed them all the harder, they could have accomplished even more. And that is something I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Thank you.